My, what big teeth you have, Grandma. Who does your dental work?
It's almost half a century. Popeye the Sailor Man might finally be heading back to the big screen in a brand new live-action movie. The last time someone tried this was way back in 1980, when Robin Williams first stepped into those oversized sailor shoes. Even though that film didn't exactly blow audiences down at the box office, it became this weird cult classic over time because of how bizarrely charming it was. But now, it looks like Hollywood is ready to give the spinach-loving sailor another shot, and this time, they might really nail it. What's especially interesting about this new Popeye movie is that it's being developed by Chernin Entertainment, the same production company that handled the Planet of the Apes trilogy in the 2010s. That alone gives fans some hope because those films balanced heart, humor, and big, bold visuals, all the stuff Popeye's world actually needs. The studio is teaming up with King Features Syndicate, which has owned the Popeye character since he first appeared in Thimble Theatre comics back in 1929. It feels like this time they want to do it right. Right now, no one knows much about casting or filming timelines. The only confirmed name attached to the project so far is Michael Kallio, who's writing the screenplay. He's mostly known for his work on TV shows like The Sopranos and Rescue Me, so that might actually work in Popeye's favor, because it means the movie could have real personality instead of just being another CGI-heavy nostalgia trip. And if the rumors about Tom Hardy being in talks to play Popeye turn out to be true, then things might get even more interesting. Hardy has that gruff, unpredictable energy that could give the Sailor Man a modern edge while still keeping that scrappy old-school charm. But before we look ahead, it's worth remembering just how big a deal Popeye used to be. He wasn't just a comic character, he was practically an institution. When Elzie Crisler Segar introduced him in the late 1920s, Popeye wasn't even supposed to be the main guy. Thimble Theatre was actually an ensemble strip featuring Olive Oyl, her brother Castor, and a bunch of side characters with goofy names. Popeye just popped in one day as a supporting sailor, and somehow, people loved him so much that he ended up taking over the whole show. That's how powerful fan enthusiasm was even back then. They basically willed him into becoming the face of the strip. Then came the cartoons. The Max Fleischer animated shorts of the 1930s turned Popeye into a household name. Kids everywhere could recognize that gravelly mumble, the pipe puff, and the way his arms would bulge like anchors whenever he downed a can of spinach. For decades, that image stuck. The scrappy sailor who eats his greens, saves Olive Oyl, and socks Bluto right into the horizon. And although the 1980 live-action movie didn't quite capture the same magic, it did introduce Robin Williams to Hollywood in his first big-screen role. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Popeye didn't always get his strength from spinach. The truth is a lot stranger. In his earliest comic appearances, Popeye's source of power came from something called a wiffle hen. No joke, he would literally rub the head of a magical hen for luck, and that's what made him nearly invincible. There's a comic strip where he gets shot a dozen times, survives, and then knocks the bad guy out cold while yelling, "Wiffle!" It's absolutely ridiculous, but in a way, that early weirdness is part of what made him so endearing. The whole spinach thing actually came later, and it turned out to be one of the smartest changes ever made. By switching from a magic hen to a can of spinach, the creators gave Popeye something relatable and even kind of meaningful. Suddenly, parents were using him as a way to convince their kids to eat vegetables, and it worked. The character's image shifted from slapstick sailor to this rough-edged role model who could inspire strength and kindness through something as simple as eating healthy. That kind of pop culture relevance helped him survive almost a century. And maybe that's something the new movie can build on, because if the filmmakers decide to nod to Popeye's early wiffle hen days, it could be a fun, surreal little callback, almost like an Easter egg for hardcore fans. Or they could lean more into the spinach origin and find a modern metaphor for it. Imagine if they made spinach stand for something bigger this time, like inner strength, self-belief, or resilience, instead of just a funny superfood gag. A director with vision could take that and turn it into something that feels both nostalgic and brand new. Now, there's also Popeye's romance with Olive Oyl, which might be the most iconic part of his story. But not everyone knows how that started either. Back in the old Thimble Theatre strips, Olive wasn't even dating Popeye. She was with a guy named Julius J. Herringbone. Then one day, she accidentally kissed Popeye thinking he was her boyfriend, and that's how their entire love story began. Popeye stood there, stunned, with hearts floating around his head saying, "Blow me down." It was love at first smooch, literally by accident. That moment might seem like a small gag, but it became the foundation for one of the most enduring cartoon romances of all time. Over the years, Olive went from being an independent comic character to Popeye's constant partner in crime. And although she often got kidnapped or caught in ridiculous situations, she was never just a damsel in distress. She had her own personality, quirks, and stubborn streak that perfectly matched Popeye's no-nonsense attitude. So, if the new live-action film really wants to bring these two back, it should definitely include some nod to that first kiss or their early chemistry. It would be such a fun way to show their beginnings, especially now that Popeye and Olive have officially entered the public domain. That means filmmakers can explore their story in any creative direction they want without worrying about rights, so the possibilities are endless. They could even tell the love story in a more grounded way while still keeping all the goofy energy that made it special. And honestly, bringing in someone like Tom Hardy as Popeye could really sell that. Hardy's great at balancing toughness with vulnerability, exactly what Popeye's about. He's not just some muscle-bound hero, he's scrappy, sentimental, and deeply loyal to his friends. Plus, Hardy's unique speech patterns could turn Popeye's trademark mumbling into something both funny and authentic. Fans have been debating casting choices for years, from Jason Statham to Woody Harrelson, but Hardy feels like the kind of actor who could handle both the heart and the humor. If they get the tone right, this could be one of those nostalgic comebacks that actually works. Because the truth is, Popeye's world has everything a modern adventure movie needs: action, comedy, a love story, and a bunch of larger-than-life characters. Bluto could be a scene-stealing villain if done right, and Olive could easily be reimagined as more of a partner than a sidekick. With Chernin Entertainment's track record on big visual projects, it's easy to imagine Popeye's Port Town brought to life with gritty detail and a dash of cartoon whimsy. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.